Today's video will be about Raven. Well, first of all, I want to say that Raven is overall doing much better already, and really what I want to discuss in this video is A, the information I have on Raven, and B, her condition and the way she was kept at the previous barn. Now, I've gotten a few questions and concerns in the past few weeks regarding Raven's weight. And this is something that, obviously, I 100% understand the concern. Raven is a bit skinny. She's not, I wouldn't say she's in life-threatening condition at all. She's okay. But the reason why she's skinny is at the old barn I didn't do enough, I'd say, research or prying into how they treated Raven and the way Raven was being cared for. After leaving the previous barn that I was just at, I've since learned that they were only feeding, or some days they just decided not to feed. If they didn't want to put hay out, they wouldn't put hay out. And really, I had no idea this was going on. I'd see hay in the horses' pastures the days that I showed up to the barn, which is usually I go 2 or 3 times a week. But sometimes the horses just weren't getting fed at all on some days. And that's the reason why Raven's weight has been low recently. And I didn't find any of that out until she left the barn. While I was at the barn, I was being told that her weight was completely normal because everybody pushed the idea onto me that she was just a thoroughbred and that she wasn't anything but a thoroughbred. Raven was just a pure thoroughbred. At the old barn I was told that, and then I was also told that Raven was probably an OTCB. She's not an OTCB, I know that. This horse has had no race training. That's something I know based off of her behavior. And obviously she has no indicator that she's been racing, and this horse just isn't a racehorse. She's not. But they just pushed the fact onto me, oh yeah. And when I brought up her weight, they'd say, oh, well, she's just a thoroughbred. She's not going to get fat. And the thing is, I was the one supplying the feed. I would drop off a lot of bags of feed for the month, and bags to kind of put it all out. And Raven was meant to be, I'm sorry, I'd have to do the math for how much she was getting fed a day. She was meant to be fed twice a day, and that's multiple pounds per day, a lot of feed this horse is meant to be on. And I'm talking really good protein packed fiber, all that feed. I've done my research on what I wanted to feed Raven before I dropped the feed off the 6 months I've had her, because I would drop feed every month. I really put a lot of work into trying to make sure this horse was healthy. And unfortunately, they just weren't feeding her. I looked into why she wasn't gaining weight, and I was like, oh, well, I was told she wasn't drinking water. And my first concern was, okay, well, let's get her electrolytes, and let's figure out why she's not drinking water. I checked her water tubs. I don't like to say a lot about previous barns I've been at, just because I feel like that starts drama. But her water was completely algae filled. There was horse poop in there. Just the water was so dirty and mucky that it made me feel terrible. And then when I looked at the body condition scoring, I was told that her weight was completely normal for a thoroughbred. And recently I've been looking at that, and I was like, hey, that's not normal. Raven is underweight, and I've only just figured that out when I left the barn. Before, I literally was just brushing it off as, oh yeah, she's just a thoroughbred. She's going to be skinny. We're feeding her all that we can. She's been cleared by, my trainers, people who used to be vets, and I believe someone who still is a vet. Just literally, she's okay. She's fine. I'm being told she's okay to ride. I asked, I was like, hey, she's looking a little bit on the slim side, do you think I should just do groundwork for a few weeks? I was just told, oh, she's completely fine and normal, whatever. So we put her on salt supplement, for the water thing. They really just said that Raven was stupid because she didn't drink water. And really, I don't blame Raven at all. The thing is, that water's dirty. I wouldn't drink that water either, so why would my horse have to drink that? So that was really in the late stages of the barn. Like right before I left this barn. And I still feel really terrible for not, even though I was being told when I asked that it was completely fine, I still feel really bad for not standing up for my horse enough and telling them, hey, this horse needs a little bit of help. Now, the next thing is when I bought Raven, I showed up to the barn where she was being kept at. Okay. She was blanketed. It was late. Actually, I believe it was more mid-February when I showed up there. I have the exact date. I believe it was February 16th. And by then it was already pretty warm. I wouldn't say extremely warm because still, I was still in a jacket, all that. But still, she was blanketed in the daytime. We showed up not that late, but it was like midday when it was like heat of the day, time to have your horses unblanketed. And I live in the south, so it's really, really warm. So, like, whatever, that's not something, if they believe the horse should be blanketed, whatever, it was their horse at the time. I'm not, and I want to say that the barn I bought Raven from, I'm not mad at them at all, I'm not. I believe that the newborn, when I got Raven, they kind of inspected her, I guess, for me when she arrived, and I honestly think that some of what they told me was lies. That's honestly 100, or not, I wouldn't say 100%, I believe they did lie to me, and that's, I do believe I made a post stating that, oh, Raven's not underweight, one time. That was way back when I was being told, oh yeah, she's fine, and that's when people started to come at me. Like, right then, she was at her worst, I guess. And, I made a post, but wait, like a bit before that, just saying Raven's backstory, and, honestly, the barn I just left kind of told me that, oh, well, she was being neglected, she was being abused. I don't really believe all of that. When I got her, she was not in bad shape. I wouldn't say too bad of shape. I was being told she was in a bad shape. I don't believe she was in terrible shape. She was a completely fine horse. And I do have pictures. She did look slightly, still, a bit underweight, undermuscled, from, like, the day I got her. But then again, it was rainy that day. I don't really care. Her weight wasn't really the biggest problem when she got there. And I've gotten, I wouldn't say that this barn sold me a sick horse, but when she did get to the barn, she was sick. And that's plain and simple fact. She was sick when she got to the barn. Raven had what they said it was pneumonia. She was on like 24/7. Like, people were watching this horse, making sure she was okay. For like, let's say a week, I didn't ride her for that time. And, I believe one of the first days she got there, I think it was first or second day, I got on her, rode her around for a few minutes, and then she started coughing. She would put her head down and she would just cough, and it would sound really terrible. I remember she did that once. I got off of her, untacked. It's like, hey, there's something up with this horse. So we got her on medicine. She healed up after about, a week, maybe a week and a half. I think that's pushing it a little bit, though. And then when the farrier came by in the beginning, I was told that her feet hadn't been done in years, and I don't believe that. It's plain and simple. When I got her, her feet did not look that bad. I was being told that by the barn I just left, that someone had neglected her, and oh, she was being, allegedly, people have said that they hurt her, I guess. I don't believe that at all. When I showed up to the Born to Ride Raven, the thing is, I hadn't ridden since I sold my heart horse and like my favorite horse of all time, Romeo, and that was way back in January. You know, I'd had a few weeks off of riding. I was really messy. My diagonals were off, my heels were messed up. I still have the videos. I mean, I wasn't anything dangerous, but the two people I bought Raven off of, I believe they were the founders of the farm. I don't know. I'm not going to say names. They were really kind, and they really did help with Raven. And again, I have no complaints with Raven. She's an excellent horse. But this is another thing. Regarding Raven's weight, I know that it's obviously not good to ride an underweight horse, and now that I figured out, hey, she's underweight. And again, this is all new information I've just gotten the past, a few days. Raven's only been there a week. I've ridden her a few times before I've learned much of what the old barn used to do that I just left. And again, she's picking up weight very fast, guys. She's looking awesome at this place. I do have pictures, and I will take more just to show you guys how far along Raven's come. I'm very proud of her progress. Right now, she's just doing light work because her body is looking a lot better, and she's building a lot more muscle and top line. That's something I'm very proud of. I do plan to put her on a weight supplement if I can. If I feel she needs it. Like, right now, she's in a condition where she's okay to ride. You know, she's cleared for that 100%. I'm sorry, not 100%. She's not fully there, but she's almost there, and she's, her muscle's a lot better. She looks like the horse that she used to be, almost, and I'm very happy for that. Now, I make this video to say, if anybody here has information about Raven, please. When I bought Raven, the person, I'm sorry, I really do forget her name, who had contacted me first about Raven, I got a message back when I was on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook anymore because it's just absolute drama that I'm not going to put myself in. But basically, I think that I was told that she was a thoroughbred draft cross in the very beginning. I vividly remember it was a thoroughbred draft cross. That's what I was told she was. Okay, cool. Showed up, looked like the horse. I don't really care that much for breeding. Raven's an excellent horse. As long as she's sound, she's got all her 4 legs, I'm happy with her. I don't care much for the flashiness. But anyway, we brought her to the barn. I was told immediately, oh, that's just, they lied to you. She's just a thoroughbred. I didn't believe that. I don't know why someone would lie about that, whatever. Then I recently got people telling me that Raven was a Shire cross. Someone who had left the barn. I do have the person's, like on YouTube, I remember someone had told me, oh yeah, Raven's a Shire cross. Her sire was a Shire horse, and her mother was a thoroughbred. That's what I was told. I believed it, whatever. Someone said that they knew her breeder like a few weeks ago, and now I'm being told she's neither a thoroughbred, nor a draft, nor a Shire. This horse is a complete mystery. I don't know what she is. I wish I knew what she was. If anybody has any idea how I can figure out her lineage, and what Raven really could be, I'd love to hear it. Please. If anyone has any questions or other concerns, I'd also love to hear it. My pure mission with Raven is to learn and grow. Now, I feel terrible, and I'm very sorry that I rode Raven while she was underweight for it was 6 months that she was underweight without me even knowing. And Well, I mean, obviously I could see it. It's not hard to hide. Raven was, like, you could see some of her ribs, her hip bone. Okay. But, I was being told that was all normal for a thoroughbred. I thought it was normal. So I continued to ride the horse as I was being told. Like, I was told, hey, yeah, there's a barrel race. I never actually barrel raced a horse. I don't really like barrel racing. But, I showed her once. That was back in April when like, she looked pretty solid in April. And then I think it was mid-May when she started to decline. And I don't think she was even underweight until maybe mid-May. But even so, I feel absolutely terrible for riding her when she was that underweight. And even now, I've taken a huge step back with Raven, and I plan to take even more steps back and transition her into fully bitless riding, number one. And honestly, maybe like do a partial restart with her. Obviously, we've gone completely back to flat work as soon as I started to think about leaving the barn. And, she's only been on light work ever since I found out she was actually truly not at the condition she needed to be in. Confirmed. But, I never meant to ride a horse that was underweight. I really had no idea that wasn't normal for what I was being told she was, a thoroughbred. I don't know what Raven is. I really want to know what Raven is. I'm sorry, my nose itches. But really, guys, no hate at all to anybody. And I'm not mad at anybody in this situation. I'm actually really glad that people are trying to help me with Raven. It really helps to know that people are going to try to give me information about this horse. And again, if you guys have any information about this one particular horse, one person said that she was, she had no thoroughbred in her at all, and she was with USEF. That's what one person said. One person said she wasn't a thoroughbred draft. But the barn that I got her from, the original advertisement said she was a thoroughbred draft cross. I don't know if that's true. I don't care if it's not true. Because, a horse is a horse. She's sound. She's, returning to being healthy. That's all that matters. But thank you guys for watching. I know this was a bit long. And I will definitely see you in the next one. Let me know if you have any information.